Hello, my name is Dr. Yaya Sissoko. Today we are going to talk about Chapter 15, Monopoly. Why monopolies rise? So why monopoly rise is due to market power. So what is a market power? Market power alters the relationship between the film cost and the selling price. So in other words, we have monopoly because monopoly charge a price that exceeds the marginal cost. So a higher price reduces the quantity purchased. The outcome will be often not the best for society. We can see that in the case of chapter 14, we talk about competitive film. The competitive film, you have many buyers and many sellers. They have no power to, so to influence or change the price of or the price of the good. They are price takers. But monopoly on the other end is a price maker. They can charge higher prices, so therefore price is greater than marginal cost. From chapter 14, businesses, so in competitive market, maximize the profit when price equal to marginal revenue equal to marginal cost. Government sometimes can improve market outcome. The government can impose, monopoly, in utility company, for instance, give patent to, electricity or gas company, or water company. What is a monopoly? A monopoly is a sole seller of a product, so without close substitute. The monopoly is a price maker. The monopoly can charge higher prices because there is no close substitute. It, and then also there is barrier to entry, so other businesses might not be able to enter the market. So example of monopoly, for instance, Microsoft Windows is a monopoly, so we say utility company, gas, electricity, water are monopoly. US Post Office is a monopoly for first class. So barrier to entry for the monopoly. We know that in chapter 14 we talk about perfect competition where there is free entry and free exit. In the perfect competition, when a business is making profit, other businesses can enter, freely or exit the market. But in a monopoly, there is a barrier to entry because the monopoly remains the only seller in the market because other firms cannot enter the market and compete against, so the monopoly. So the reason that there are barriers to entry is, for instance, monopoly resources. The monopoly has the only, resources to produce that gold. Government regulation, because government regulate and provide patent or copyright to some businesses to produce that product and the production process. Okay, and we'll talk about each of these, case of barrier in a minute. So one of the reasons to barrier to entry for monopoly is monopoly resources. So what is a monopoly resources? The key resources required for the production, owned by a single firm. Because the monopoly own that resources, they are the only one that can produce the product. Without that resources, you will not be able to produce that product. So because of that, they can charge higher prices. Okay, look at this photo here. So rather than we call ourselves a monopoly, we'll consider ourselves the only game in town because this is the only game in town. It's a single producer, so it's going to be monopoly, and monopoly have the ability to charge higher prices, but there is no close substitute. So another reason for barrier to entry for monopoly is government regulation. Government give a single firm the exclusive right to produce some good or services. Okay, so it we call that government created monopoly. So they have patent or copyright, So they can charge higher prices and they make higher profit. Example of government created monopoly would be utility company, so electricity company, gas company, water company, so pharmaceutical company, they make drugs, and then they have a patent for 30 years. If you write something, you write a book, the government will give you copyright for that book, for instance, and then you can charge higher prices, so for producing that book, for instance, and make profit. Another reason for barrier to entry for a monopoly is a natural monopoly. What is a natural monopoly? A natural monopoly is a single firm that can produce a good or service of to an entire market at a smaller cost than could two or more firms. You know, Meaning that the business can produce so higher higher quantity, and the cost per unit will decrease. The average total cost also will decrease. We say that the single firm is achieving economy of scales over relevant, so output. Economy of scale meaning that increase in output will decrease, will lead to decrease in total average cost. Example of natural monopoly would be club goods, which are excludable and not involved in consumption. We'll talk about club goods in chapter 11. Figure one, talk about economy of scale as a cause of monopoly. So on the y-axis, on the x-axis, horizontal axis, we have quantity for output. On the y-axis, so we have a vertical axis, we have the cost. So you can see that the average total cost, as output increases, the average total cost is decreasing. This is called economy of scales. So when a film average total cost can continue to continually decline, the film has what is called the film is what is called natural monopoly. In that sense, when production is divided among more film, each film produces less, and average total cost rises. As a result, a single film can produce any given amount at the least cost.